My 18th birthday was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My family surrounded me with smiles, gifts, and congratulations. But while everyone was celebrating, I was secretly making a decision that would change my future forever. I transferred my entire inheritance from my grandparents into a protected trust. Nobody knew. Not my parents, not my younger sister, not even my closest relatives. I didn't do it because I hated my family. I did it because I noticed something that scared me. They were more excited about my money than my future. The next morning, my parents walked into my room with a smile on their faces. They thought they were about to control millions of dollars. But when they discovered what I had done the night before, their smiles disappeared. And that was the moment I finally saw my family's true intentions. My name is Daniel, and my grandparents were the most important people in my life. Growing up, I was never the smartest student or the most talented person in the room. But my grandparents always believed in me. They told me something I never forgot. Daniel, your character matters more than your wealth. My grandfather built his fortune from nothing. He started with a small business and spent decades turning it into something successful. He taught me that money was not just a privilege, it was a responsibility. Every summer, I spent time with my grandparents. While other kids were playing video games, my grandfather was teaching me lessons about life. He taught me how to save money. He taught me how to make decisions. Most importantly, he taught me not to let money change who I was. My parents were different. They loved me, but they had always struggled financially. My father made several bad investments. My mother enjoyed spending money whenever she had the chance. Whenever my grandparents talked about my future, I noticed my parents became unusually interested. They started asking questions. How much will Daniel inherit? When will he get access to the money? What are the plans for the property? At first, I ignored it. I told myself they were just curious. After all, they were my parents. I wanted to believe they cared about me more than money. Then my grandfather became sick. During his final days, he spent a lot of time with me. One evening, he called me into his room. He looked at me and said, "Daniel, when people know you have something valuable, they may treat you differently." I asked him what he meant. He smiled subtly. "You will understand when the time comes." A few months later, my grandfather passed away. It was one of the most painful moments of my life. After his death, I discovered that my grandparents had left me a large inheritance, millions of dollars in investments and assets. I was shocked. I was only 18 years old. Most people would probably feel excited, but I felt nervous, because suddenly, everyone around me started acting differently. My parents began talking about my inheritance almost every day. My father said, "You know, your money could help the whole family." My mother said, "We should make smart decisions together." My younger sister started saying things like, "When you become rich, don't forget your family." Those words bothered me. Nobody asked me about my dreams. Nobody asked what I wanted to do with my future. They were already deciding how my money would be used. That's when I remembered my grandfather's warning. I started thinking carefully. I wasn't trying to hide money from my family. I just wanted to protect the gift my grandparents trusted me with. A few weeks before my 18th birthday, I met with a financial advisor. I explained my concerns. After reviewing everything, he helped me create a legal trust. The inheritance would be protected. I would control my future decisions. Nobody could pressure me into making choices I wasn't ready for. I kept it completely private. Then came my 18th birthday party. My family decorated the house. Everyone was smiling. My father gave a speech about how proud he was of me. He talked about always supporting each other. Everyone clapped. But something felt different. Later that night, I overheard a conversation between my parents. My father said. Tomorrow we need to talk to Daniel about the investment plan. My mother replied. He will understand. He is family. That sentence stayed in my mind. The next morning, my parents entered my room. My father had documents in his hand. My mother was smiling. My sister followed behind them. My father sat down and said, Daniel, we have been thinking about your inheritance. He placed papers on my desk. These are some opportunities that will benefit everyone. I looked at the documents. They were asking me to invest a huge amount of my inheritance into my father's business. Plans. I looked at him and asked, what happens if it doesn't work? His expression changed. Why are you already thinking negatively? My mother interrupted. Daniel, we are your parents. You should trust us. That was the moment I understood. They weren't asking for advice. They expected control. I calmly took a breath. Then I said, I already made arrangements for my inheritance. The room became silent. My father looked confused. What arrangements? I told them about the trust. My mother's smile disappeared. My sister looked angry. So you don't trust us? I answered, trust doesn't mean giving someone control over everything you own. My father stood up. You are making a huge mistake. I looked at him and said, no. I am finally making my own decision. For several weeks, my family was upset. They said I had changed. They said money had made me selfish. But I knew the truth. Protecting myself was not disrespect. It was responsibility. Years later, that decision helped me build my own life. I invested carefully. I started my own company. I created success without depending on anyone. Eventually, my relationship with my family improved, but only after they understood one important thing. My inheritance was never the problem. The problem was people believing they had a right to control my future. Money can change situations, but it also reveals people. The ones who truly love you will care about your happiness before your wealth. They will support your dreams, not just your success. Always remember, setting boundaries does not mean you don't love your family. Sometimes protecting yourself is the most responsible thing you can do. Your future is your responsibility. Choose wisely.